Go.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the book review series. As you know, we have started this series from 8th of January, and we are getting an overwhelming response by various people because everyone has come forward to actually speak about and review the books. And today we have a speaker who is down from, I would say she's from the West, where she is actually based out of Ahmedabad, and she's going to review a beautiful book. Before I introduce, I would like to tell you that this series, as we have already said, that we are doing it in version 1 and version 2 both, because on Saturdays at 4:30 you are meeting the parents, you're meeting the teachers, educators, and sometimes the authors and the motivational speaker. And on Sunday at the same time, 4:30, you're meeting the young children who are coming forward and saying that yes, they would like to read the book. So that's the way how we are doing this good book read series. And the objective of Career Beacon to do this is that everyone should fall in love with the books. And the book reading, as usual, we have been taught in past that this is the best habit and books are our real friends. But when it is coming from the horse's mouth, someone who has written this book or someone who has read this book and somehow it has impacted, this book series is actually all about that how a particular book has created an impact in the reviewer's life. And today we have Uzma Aamir with us, who is joining us from the Calorex Group, having almost 20 years of experience where she has actually dedicated her life to the education, and she holds a master degree in the applied economics. As said, she is a part of the Calorex Group from last 20 years, and she has done commendable work in that group, wherein she has been a part of teaching excellence and the achievement program from USA. Her focus area is more on implementing and teaching methodology and student engagement. Over the year, she has headed the special needs school that is called Prerna, and has also been a diploma program coordinator with Calorex IB School. Calorex is a group of schools which has got preschool chain, it has got a normal school chain, plus it has got two IB schools. So I would not stand between you and our reviewer today, but she is passionate about the teaching, training the teachers, and training on the new pedagogies. She has also been involved in group change and the management process. So, welcome Uzma to our show, and I hope we will be able to do a little justice with the book that is written by Dr. Abdul Kalam, who was one of the president of India and who is also known as a missile man. And she is going to review a beautiful book, Igniting Minds. So, welcome Uzma, and I would like you to set the context with a small curiosity that I have in my mind, that when we approached you for the good book series, what made you to come out of this book that this has created an impact?
So good evening, Sunanda. Thank you so much for this kind introduction. And I was really happy when I was invited for this kind of a series. The thing that really impressed me with what work you're doing, that this is one really major need today, that the children have to be motivated by people who surround them, and those people have to also have the reading habit to be able to set examples in their own houses, in their schools, the teachers, everybody. So when this came up to me, there are, of course, a huge number of books that I might be reading on a personal level otherwise. But because I'm in the field of education and I'm interacting mostly with teachers, with parents, and with students, of course, one thing that really came to mind was what book to choose to address all of these stakeholders. And this is something which I just thought about, and I thought that this is one book that impressed me as a parent, as a teacher, and of course had as a student. And later, if I also studied in my adult life, I did take certain learnings from this book. So, as a student too, I can say that this book impressed me. So, I think um, that's the reason that I chose this book today.
Wow, that's so beautifully explained, Uzma. Honestly, when I was, in fact, I also read this book and I could realize that, the kind of dream that Dr. APJ had and his interaction with the student, who has, especially the Snehal Thakkar. So, I would like to first initiate the question answers wherein we can easily understand, or the viewers who have joined us on YouTube with us and listening to us can understand that what is this book is all about. So Uzma, my first question to you is, this is something about the visualization and emphasizing that what exactly India would be and what is the greatest strength, what is the greatest weakness, and how can we come out of that. And I believe this book has come out as one of the series where Dr. APJ Kalam has actually was traveling to give a talk, and he interacted with the students. So the first question is there any conscious plot in this, like a normal story thing, or what exactly is this book, how it is going forward?
So, what we have heard about Dr. Kalam, he was a simple man, and he's written very simple language. He's used very simple language and written these books. So we cannot expect literary artistry from these books, but the message that they carry are really, really, really deep. And of course, when you're talking of a plot or as such, no, he has penned his own vision for the country. He spent his own thoughts. But yes, he has given a dramatic twist in the beginning of the book where he's writing about his helicopter crash and where how he was very shaken, very traumatized, but because so and he miraculously escaped that crash. So to settle his nerves, he was given a mild tranquilizer, and because of that, he fell into a deep sleep. And there he dreamt very vividly about these great men who came in his dream: Albert Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi, um, um, Emperor Ashoka, and Abraham Lincoln, Umar Khalifa. So he was like, so he was very impressed. He was feeling dwarfed in their esteemed presence. But he was also listening to what these people, these great men were talking about. And all of them, though they achieved greatness in the eyes of others, how they themselves stayed grounded, how they themselves didn't let that greatness come into themselves and their attitude towards life and towards the people, and how they also talked about their flaws, because that is what finally they were great about, that you recognize your own flaws but you don't talk about so much of your achievement. Let others talk about your achievement. You keep doing whatever you have done. Let your work speak for you. So that is what he starts the book with, Dr. Kalam. So that's when you're talking about plot. So there's no plot as such, but it's more of a dramatic beginning to the book, which just starts with this. And as you were talking about that dream part, where he has written about his own vision, his own dream, and on that he has written also a little. I would like to read some excerpts also from the book where he's written about how children can just take care of what they're dreaming about, how their parents can encourage them. So the book is basically all about what he visualizes, what his idea about the future of the country is or was, and how we can hone the inherent value, valuable resource that we have as a young nation and of a young population, how they can really help in advancing our country to greater heights.
Yeah, that's so beautifully. Yes, when even when I was reading this book, it was like, okay, helicopter crash that never be heard about, and then all of a sudden, all these people, especially Ashoka, who has conquered the Kalinga War, and he could see 3 lakh people who in the battlefield who have lost their lives, and he could see the past their life, and after that he is just going. Yes, the characters, if we are there, but yes, it is not yet the character. But there is something on the Snehal Takkar, the discussions that have started and how the things have been done. So is it possible for you to share a bit about that?
Yes, so while he was on his, he wanted to visit schools. He was a man who wanted to interact with the young population of the country, and for that purpose, he kept visiting a lot of schools. He kept interacting with children. So, and he used to ask questions to all the students that he used to meet. Uh, so one question that he actually asked, and what is it that uh, stops the what is it that we suffer from, and what is it that stops our growth? And many answers were coming up, and this child, he said that poverty is our main problem, and that's what's the issue that India is facing. And that really impacted Dr. Kalam, and he uh, dedicated this whole book to this student. And that was such a that actually shows his own heart and what he believes in, that he could just totally dedicate, because of that child's answer, that he dedicated this book to this student. Yeah, so that's what you mentioned. Snehal Thakkar was the child who asked the question, and that's what he replied, that this was our enemy. The poverty is actually our enemy. So
So true.
that's actually true even today. So that visionary, you can say that child's question and the answer was also visionary in itself. The child's answer, and so true.
True. In fact, when you just browse through a couple of videos or the talks that Dr. Abdul Kalam has actually shared, when he interacted with children, the first thing that he used to ask is, "What is your dream?" And if you
Yeah,
are, and he defined dream very clearly. That dream is not that what you see when you are sleeping. Dream is something that will keep you awake till you get into it. That's the true meaning of the dream that he has given. Uh, Obviously we are no one to evaluate his work, we are no one to do that, but I would like you to take through a complete synopsis of the book, that why people should read this book, what are they going to gain out of it.
absolutely, I will. And while you are on the topic of the dream that he described, and he wrote in his book that dream, 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 dream transforms into thoughts. Thoughts result in actions. And friends, if there are no dreams, there are no revolutionary thoughts. If there are no thoughts, no action will emanate. Hence, parents and teachers should allow their children to dream. Success always follows dreams attempted through. Success always follows dreams attempted, though there may be some setbacks and delays. So I'm just reading an excerpt from his book itself, and that's precisely answering your question, that he about the dream aspect, that he never stopped dreaming in his own life. And when we say dreams don't come true, that's what he's saying. No, that doesn't happen like that. If you don't dream, there is nothing that you have any, that the thoughts will not arise. If you dream of something very, very, outlandish, but that gives you that thought to act upon that dream. So, coming to the synopsis of the book, as you had mentioned earlier, that he has dedicated this book to this intermediate school child, Nehal Thakkar, and uh, and he answered her question. That's how the poverty is our enemy answer made him dedicate this book to her. Now, a true patriot's guide to a better nation is, this is the apt phrase to describe the book Ignited Minds. Actually, we all know that, like all others, that any nation consists of its people, and with their collective effort, a nation can accomplish the toughest of feats and goals very easily. But the population, the nation, the people of the nation are the strength. But if those people are left to just without any direction, without any channelization. That is the sad part. That is that needs to be addressed. So that is basically where Ignited Mind is nothing but the embodiment of his ever enchanting idea that the Indian youth should come ahead and take the lead in, uh, putting out their ideas, making kind of, coming forward, putting them into their actions, honing some resources, trying their best to make it happen. And that's the energy and the motivation that he wanted to bring out through this book. So the strength that he's written about in this book basically is that very difficult issues that the country is facing. Now he wrote it so many years back, but till today we are seeing the same kind of issues. Politics, religion, uh, which are all stopping growth, which are all are issues that are stopping development. If we all can just step out of those issues and focus on the relevant aspects of the country's progress, I think when he envisioned that, and he wanted that vision 2020 to take place with all the development that he had thought about. Well, we do have a lot of development that has happened, but then those issues still remain, sadly. So, where he is urging the people of the country, he's urging the youth, he's urging the parents and the teachers to keep on encouraging their students and their children to keep dreaming, to not to undermine any child's thoughts by way of just putting them aside. Parents and teachers can really encourage their students and children to by encouraging their thoughts, by making them believe in themselves, and by making sure that if the child is expressing some desire, to actually make sure that the child gets that kind of a resource and that kind of a um, platform to showcase those ideas. And that's what Dr. Kalam said that will take the country forward, because as we all know that India is a nation of young people, and the largest population of young people resides in India. And those people, if they are just not given the channel to express themselves, they will inevitably get into the wrong deeds, the wrong mindsets. So it's very important for each and every one of us to realize that and to encourage each school, each teacher, each principal, and each parent to take that one step towards encouraging their children. Yes.
So true. So true, Uzma. Beautifully explained. In fact, that also brings to a very critical topic that, now the board exams are going to start from May, and we have JEE and NEET coming up. So many of the parents, obviously, every parent wants the kids to be at the best of the place, but we need to understand that, every child is unique. Not a child can be compared with a B child. Everyone has got their own genre and generate. So, as parents we need to ensure that our child is dreaming, because that is the first step that he is trying to take an action, and his thoughts are aligned to it. And rather than discarding his dream, for example, he want to become an automobile engineer, or he would like to open up an entrepreneur shop, he want to do a digital marketing, he could be a part of engineering team or something. In case if the person is having a realistic dream, let them dream, let them have plan A, plan B, and plan C. Do not impose your dreams or your aspiration on the kids that I could not achieve this dream, so you can do that. And for that, Career Beacon is having a beautiful arm of the career guidance. Anyone can fit book for the career slots, wherein people are given the guidance based on the aptitude, personality, and the interest, so that they can dream bigger, they can achieve bigger. We don't want our kids to fail at any moment of time, because if they fail, it is more like we are failing. So, keeping in the context, in case if any one of the viewer, any one of the school people who are interested for a career slots, please do let us know. We are always handy with that. Now, Uzma, while you was talking about that, he has dreamt something and he's urging to the parents. Now this comes to a very crucial question on this book. Is this book is targeted to the students or to the parents or to the educator? Who are the target audience for this book?
I feel all of us, all of the student, the parent, the teacher. So if a student reads this, he might, lose the context because the student doesn't really realize the deep vision of Dr. Kalam. But the teacher and the parent can actually help that child to understand exactly what is written. It's a simply worded book. So it may come across as really a simple language, but the depth of the thought that Dr. Kalam was talking about in this book and in his other books as well, that is where the teacher actually can play a very major role. This book can actually, and any of Dr. Kalam's books, can actually be one of those extra reading material in the school, where they can be discussing, they can have small ideation sessions, brainstorming sessions on what the students of the secondary school, the senior secondary school, how they translate into these books. And even parents, when they are part of these discussions, they can really understand how they can encourage. And as you were just talking about, that the expectation of parents these days is, of course, those limited fields, that when Dr. Kalam wrote this book, India may not have had such a liberal education system as we have today, because this whole change has really come about in the past decade mostly. That you have so many streams that you are now are being offered. There are so many students who are going into alternate careers. There are so many students who are choosing not just science and math streams, but they are going into humanities kind of a course as well. So, some part of Dr. Kalam's dream is definitely coming true here, because we are seeing a lot of liberated mindsets of parents who are encouraging their students. But yes, the majority is still there. And if we look at the great people who have achieved so much, entrepreneurs like Dhirubhai Ambani, and even so there is this list being circulated, and I was just going through that. So here, Dr. Kalam was rejected in the interview of a pilot because he wanted to become a pilot, and he got rejected. And then so that rejection at times is very important for you to start exploring something else, or to work harder towards what you want finally. So if you look at it in that manner, so many people, even great people like Dhirubhai Ambani was working in the petrol bunks. So he was, where would he have thought that he'll achieve that kind of a success? But somewhere somebody encouraged him. Somebody made him realize his dream, and that somebody might have been his family, his teacher, whoever just inspired. um, we've heard that even Amitabh Bachchan was rejected because of his heavy voice for a radio show. He was not taken in All India Radio. Now that today would seem ridiculous if we actually think, but then that's what somebody encouraged him. That no, that voice is your strength. And if he had just taken, so that is what this book is talking about as well. That the child may have a dream, but if we just reject that dream, that no, we want you to do that, or you are more capable for that a particular kind of a way because your father or your uncle or your family is into that particular profession, that is unfair. Each and every child is unique, and each and every child may have a different, even twins for that matter may have totally different ideas about their or how they want to live their lives. And that's where the mindset needs to open, and that's where the country will finally look into the progress progressive mindset, basically not just progress in the actual development, economic development, but the mindset being progressive is what the depth of this book would be talking more about. So I
So
think
viewers,
that is
yeah.
where we are, looking into a parent, a teacher, and any educator or anybody in the vicinity of the child to keep on encouraging and motivating.
So, viewers, that was a beautiful answer by Ms. Uzma, wherein this book is for everyone, but especially for the teaching fraternity, because this could bring up, ignite many of the talking points. This could be a preferable book for the parents to explore that kids should not be, their ideas or the dream should not be rejected, rather than give them air or the ventilation that she can actually think about it in a more beautiful manner. So somehow this is what is aligned to the present day scenario, where we have multiple things. One of the things is liberal arts, where we are talking about that now you have a selective approach, and maybe that was the dream which has actually evolved. New education policy wherein we are saying that child can do any elective of the subjects. There is no stream that is particular that's going to come up. It can be a pick and pack, just pick and choose any of the subject that you would like to do, and you can study the liberal studies. Well, Uzma, we have heard so many beautiful things about this book. However, there would be certain portion of the book which would have caught your attention. I would like you to share that portion with us, so that people who are viewing us right now can be a part of this thing.
Absolutely. I did share the dream part where I mentioned. One very important part in the epilogue that is there in the book is the the ego and spirit, where he's, of course, the story everybody must have read about the womb carrying twins, and those twins are saying to each other, one is called ego and one is called spirit, and this the ego is saying that I that I believe that there is the spirit is saying I believe there is light outside and there's something called a mother, and the ego is saying no, just be content in what you have, there's nothing like that, and what are you talking about, and this is, I think everybody has read that. So he is comparing that you have to look ahead. There is nothing ridiculous about your thoughts. You may just, you can't imagine what might be true in the future. So that is one thing that he is, just quoted from this the story, that the ego and the spirit as just analogies that he's given, and also that I really liked what the song that he wrote at the end for the youth of the country. And if all parents and teachers can just go through that, and I'll just read it out to you. As a young citizen of India, armed with technology, knowledge, and love for my nation, I realize small aim is a crime. I will work and sweat for a great vision, the vision of transforming India into a developed nation powered by economic strength and value systems. I am one of the citizens of a billion. Only the vision will ignite the billion souls. It has entered into me. The ignited soul, compared to any resource, is the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth and under the earth. I will keep the lamp of knowledge burning to achieve the vision, developed India. If a couple of points are really, really very poignant here, where a small aim is a crime. He is saying it's criminal, to aim small. Each child has to aim big. Otherwise, you're not doing justice to your time on the earth, or on your country's earth for that matter. And the e- economic development is, of course, will follow, but the value systems which will finally sustain any kind of development that he's mentioned over here is what he's really, very passionately written this. And this song really impressed me, and I think all parents and teachers should just pick this book up, Ignited Minds. It's an old version, older one, that I had gifted my son way back. And today, when I pick it up, and it seems so relevant till today itself. So there's nothing that has changed. In fact, a lot has deteriorated also in some sense. So if we really need to take these visionary visionary leaderships, people who have attained such amazing heights, if we can take some little leaf from their lives and implement those actions in ours, I think we are doing a lot of service to our own nation. Even without being in the services, we can really serve our country by, just taking small snippets out of great people's lives. And especially today, as we're talking of Dr. Kalam, that a lot can be learned and imbibed from them, from his life.
True, Uzma, you have beautifully explained that what could be the best, and the best part was the poem which you liked, even I liked in that particular book. In one of his talk to the students, he said that, while we are talking about various things, everyone asked which is the best thing that you like, you being a president or you being into the scientist thing. So he said, I enjoyed being teacher, and my when my student has got PhD, that was a proud moment for me. So this is what he has actually shared with the kids, that what is the most happiest moment. And also there were people who were asking him, okay, what is the greatest strength and what is the greatest weakness of the country. And he was saying that young people are the greatest strength for the country.
Absolutely.
And this is where we actually come to an end of today's show, because there is lot to talk, lot to think. But as you shared a very beautiful thing, that we need to respect the time. Let's respect the time. And before we conclude, I would request you to please share a you know maybe whatever the thing that you would like to share about this book, without any framework of the question. I am not asking you the rating part of the question, because this is something, is an awesome book and by an awesome human being and an awesome president of India. So rating is definitely 5+. If there would be more than that everyone would like to rate it. But your context or your final words or words of wisdom before we leave.
So of course, there's no words of wisdom as such, but for this book, uh, so if you're expecting, as I mentioned earlier, a literary marvel, of course it's not. But yes, that is the thing to be respected in any of Dr. Kalam's books are the thought process behind his writing these books and penning down, and the simplicity of his own life that he very unabashedly shared with others. And he was, so that has come across beautifully in this book as well, that he is, as you just said, that he was okay with, just walking out of the Rashtrapati Bhavan with just one suitcase, which he brought in and brought out of that, and he went and into teaching again. That is that is something which inspires, um, that your own passion is what is driving you. The material part and the other aspects are also important. But if you are really following your dream, then nothing else matters. And that's what he went back into his village, and he into his old college where he was teaching, and he started that same profession again without any hang-ups that he was the president of India. And that has come out even in this book where he is writing, the way he is writing. And I'm sure if people are just to, if they have young students at home, young children at home, just to go to the bookstore and buy this book, and just let the student, that your child, read it, be with them, discuss it, and encourage them to, take some thoughts out of that book and also write something, and also pen down their thoughts about what they want to do in life, taking inspiration. So I think I just wanted everybody to, any book, not only just this book, but any of Dr. Kalam's book are conveying very, very major messages for the youth of the country. And I think all children must pick up his book and read it. So that's
Thank
what
you
I
so
wanted.
much, Uzma. Thank you so much, Uzma, because the one you really said is, everyone should pick up a book, this book or any of the book. Well, we respect our time, but at the same time we need to ensure that someone who has shared such a beautiful book with us has brought forward the limelight and the highlights of these books, that every parent, every educator, every student who is listening to us is highly grateful. So this is a small token of appreciation, Uzma, from us,
Thank you.
in
Thank you so
recognition of
much.
your active speaking, in particularly in this book read series, because when we were trying to come out with this book series and we were thinking that what kind of books would come, believe me, I think that was a dream that has come out. And I must not forget to quote somebody who has given this idea, none other than Nirali Dagli, who has been a part of your Calorex group only. She said, Sunanda, you're doing everything. Why don't you start up with the book read series? And we just thought about that we would be doing this, and these things have come up, shaped up, and today we are streaming the sixth episode. And that was a beautiful book by Dr. A.P.J. Kalam, and that's a beautiful book which has caught attention of so many people. With this, as we have discussed about this particular series, next week we are not going to come up with any of the series, as we have announced in beginning also that we are doing a world science, national science day on 28th of Feb, and we are doing a you know orientation session of all the participants who are going to be. So in case if you haven't participated yet, or you have not done anything on the science day thing, please do participate with us. It's very clearly hosted on our website. It would be there on the description box also. All the students, all the parents, all the teachers, please ensure that your people are participating in the National Science Day. That is on 28th of Feb. That would be Sunday. So in a leisure way, you can participate either as a short video shoot, or as essay writing, or maybe short video that science is fun. So science is fun could be anything that you can manage, and you can do this thing. So please ignite your minds, see what is the science which is there everywhere, and we would love to have you around on 28th of Feb. So for the orientation session next week, we are not doing any session with any of the senior. We will be back again after that week, and wherein we are going to discuss a lot about the various topics, and that would be with Miss Neha Karan Vampati, who would be there with us on, I believe, 20th of February, 20th. Yeah, I believe that would be the day when she would be there with us, and she would be revealing a beautiful book that is You Can Heal Your Life. That's again something that your thoughts are the basic pillar for anything. This is what has been coming up subsequently, and you can see Uzma has beautifully said that dreams are an outcome of the thoughts, and out of the thoughts, we are having action. So, with this, Uzma, thank you so much for your presence and lively conversation with us, because that has actually brought us closure. I would ensure that we are reading the book once more, because the way you have explained, now we will ponder on those points. So, this is me and Kavita signing off for today, and we'll see you tomorrow with another speaker who is going to be in the child session. And thank you, Uzma, for staying back
Thank you
with me.
so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Kavita and
Pleasure,
Sunanda. Thank you.
pleasure, pleasure.